Hello, good morning everyone. In this video, we are going to have the last chapter in the story, chapter 10. Okay? Here we are going to read the chapter first, Beauty and the Prince. Suddenly, the room was bright and sunny. The leaves returned to the trees and water came back into the fountains. يعني الحياة رجعت تاني فجأة. الكسل بقت the leaves returned to the trees. رجعت الورق للشجر تاني and the water came back to the fountain. رجع المية تاني للfountain والbutterflies came back to life. Suddenly they stopped. البutterfly فجأة وقفوا. They were no longer butterflies but beautifully dressed people. تحولوا change into dressed people. ناس ولابسة كويس. راحت هي بتقول ايه بقى I don't understand what's happening. Who are they? فالبرنس قال لها let me explain. يعني خليني أشرح لك اللي بيحصل. A long time ago I was a prince in the castle. من زمن طويل فات أنا كنت prince في الكاسل دي but I'm afraid I was not a good prince. One day an old lady came to the castle. It was cold and she was lost in the snow the same as father. يعني زمان كان في واحدة ست عجوزة كانت الدنيا برد قوي وبرضو تاهت زي باباكي بالظبط في السنو وهي ماشية يعني في التلج. Exactly the same. The old woman spoke to a servant but I was at the door too. The old woman was very ugly. I told her to go away. هي جت وكلمت servant من اللي عنده يعني خادم يعني فهو كان واقف وقال لها go away امشي من هنا خلاص لانها هو بيقول ان the old woman was very ugly كانت شكلها وحش قوي فهي البيوتي قالت له I can't believe it. You are so cool. You are so kind. يعني انت انسان طيب قوي. فقال لها I'm now. دلوقتي انا طيب but I wasn't then. بس زمان ما كنتش كده. But she was not just an ugly old lady. She also had magic powers. عندها سحر يعني هي مش كانت ست عجوزة بس لا كانت ساحرة. And she changed me into the beast. وحولتني من برنس للوحش اللي انت كنت شايفاه. And when I was a beast I learned to be kind. لما كنت بقى beast تعلمت ازاي ابقى طيب وابقى انسان كويس يعني. But where do I come into the story? The old lady told me this. You will stay. الست العجوزة قالت لي كده you will stay like that until your heart becomes good. Only the true love of a woman can change you back. هتفضل كده لغاية ما قلبك يبقى كويس وتقابل حب حقيقي من واحدة change you back يرجعك تاني. You were the woman with true love, Beauty. The prince looked Beauty's hand and the prince took Beauty's hand and walked her to the door. He opened the door into a long hall. مسك ايديها ومشوا وفتحوا الباب he opened the door into a long hall. يعني زي hall طويل قوي. Okay. The hall was full of people. كانت الهول مليانة بالناس. Two long lines of men with trumps stood on each side of the hall. صفين وكان معهم trumps اللي هي دي اسمها trumps stood on each side of the hall. When Beauty and the prince entered لما دخلوا Beauty and the prince entered the trumps played. بدأوا يعزفوا يعني. A group of young ladies ran to Beauty's side. We are here to serve you beauty. يعني بنات جم وراها وقالوا لها احنا هنا عشان نخدمك. okay. There were the toys. البنات دول كانوا هم اللعب اللي بتلعب بيهم beauty. Your love has saved them all. The castle looked very different with people in it. القصر بقى مختلف خالص بالناس اللي فيه. It was always a beautiful castle, but now it was full of life too. The prince called a messenger. Young man, take the fastest horse in the stable and a big cart. Go and bring Beauty's father and sisters from the cottage in the forest. Your family's home is here with us now. هو عايز يبعت حد messenger يجيب باباها واخواتها ويعيشوا معاهم في القصر. The next day, people, rich and poor, كل الناس أغنياء وفقراء, young and old, صغيرين وكبار, came to see the royal wedding عشان يشوفوا الحفل الرسمي. The church in the castle, الكنيسة اللي في الكاسل في القصر يعني, was full of flowers اللي بيحضروها يعني علشان الفرح الويدنج. There was a choir of 100 singers, يعني choral من 100 مغني ومغنية, and the finest musician played the organ, والعازفين بيعزفوا والأورجن زي بيانو يعني. Beauty looked like an angel. شكل Beauty كان عامل زي الملاك from the heaven من الجنة, in her long white and golden wedding dress, في فستانها بتاع الفرح يعني. She stood next to the prince, كانت واقفة جنب البرنس, and the priest married them, اللي هو الكاهن أو القسيس يعني جوزهم. The prince put the ring on Beauty's finger and kissed his bride. Beauty's father looked at his beautiful daughter standing at her husband's side and wiped a tear from his eyes. يعني كان بيمسح الدموع من عينيه, ده باباها. The couple walked slowly out of the church into the courtyard. courtyard هي الساحة اللي هيتعمل, الساحة الواسعة. خرجوا من التشيرش وهيخرجوا للكورتيارد اللي في الكاسل, ساحة واسعة where the wedding banquet would be held, الحفلة والفرح هيتعمل يعني. As the music started playing, the guests cheered happily. The guests cheered happily, يعني دي الهول, دي الكورتيارد, هم نازلين من التشيرش ورايحين متجهين للكورتيارد. okay, and the people هنا cheered happily, يعني بيسقفوا لهم, بيضحكوا, بيشجعوهم وهم نازلين. and this is the last chapter of the story. كده this is the end of the story. Here we are going to answer the question of chapter 10. okay, number 1. Who come to visit the prince? An old lady come to visit the prince. What did the old woman look like? What did the old woman look like? The old woman was ugly. The old woman was ugly. يعني كان شكلها عامل ازاي? It was ugly. What did the old woman do? هي عملت ايه بقى؟ The old woman changed the prince into the beast. حولته للbeast. Okay. What was the only thing that could change the beast back? ايه الحاجة الوحيدة اللي ممكن ترجع البيست لبرنس تاني؟ Only the true love of a woman could change the beast back. يبقى ايه الحاجة الوحيدة؟ Only the true love. Only the true love of a woman. Okay. طب who did the toys change into? يعني التويز اللي كانت بتلعب بيهم دايما Beauty change into ايه في الويدنج؟ the toys change into a group of young ladies. تحولوا لسيدات. Who did the messenger go for? المسنجر راح فين؟ He went for Beauty's father and sisters. ليه راح لهم to bring them to the castle to live with the Beauty and the prince. What did the church look like? الchurch شكلها ايه؟ اللي هي في الكاسل يعني. It was full of flowers. There was a choir of 100 singers and the finest musician played the organ. How did Beauty's father feel? He looked at her beautiful daughter standing at her husband's side and wiped a tear from his eyes. He looked at يعني كان باصص لها ودموعه بيمسحها عشان كان طبعا سعيد بيهم. He's very happy with them. Complete. Number 1. Beauty looked like a Beauty looked like an angel from the heaven in her long white and golden wedding dress. As the music started playing, the guests cheered happily. Guests mean ضيوف يعني. Okay? And we finished all of the story now. Okay, thank you and goodbye.